So glad, my love. It feels so nice to type on this typewriter. You really get into the flow, and it feels like such a nice ritual to have in your day. I think it makes life more romantic, and I'm still learning how to use it, and I find myself needing a lot of patience with myself. Accepting the mistakes I'm making, and instead of looking at the mistakes on the page and saying, oh, I've made such an ugly mess, looking at the page and letting go of expectation. Just allowing it to unravel as it does. Allowing it to be what it is. Not good or bad, not ugly or pretty. It just is, and I'm learning, and I'm allowed. It feels as though all that you learn growing up and the experiences that you have spill into everything that you do, from the lovers you choose to learning how to write on the typewriter. Sometimes that does drown me with hopelessness, but I know I can choose now, and it's up to me, and that's really powerful. This one is for my fellow perfectionists. I definitely find myself to be a perfectionist, which I feel like has stopped me from starting things that I really wanted to start because they wouldn't be perfect. It has also meant that when I do things, I'm so hard on myself because I want things to come out perfect, even though perfect doesn't exist. So I think living in that state is it's such a way of beating yourself up and not allowing yourself to do things that you really want to do. What I'm saying to myself is, let's move away from that. Allow myself to make loads of mistakes and allow the process to be imperfect and just continue to evolve and just get closer to who I truly am on the inside. And what I mean by that is I think in our childhoods and when we're being reared by people, I think for a lot of us, there's conditions placed on us and there's other people's opinions placed on us. And I think it's very rare that we're born, and from the moment we're born, say our caregivers are encouraging us to be who we are, asking us what we naturally like, what we don't like. So I think for a lot of us, we're sort of living this life that was placed on us rather than from this place of who we truly are and what we truly value. But I think that this perfectionist sort of way of living is no different. I think that that's another thing placed on us to stop us from allowing ourselves to be who we truly are. So yeah, that's what I mean by allowing yourself to be who you truly are. It's allowing yourself to be who you truly are underneath all the conditions that were placed on you from your family, from society, from friends, and just being whoever you are regardless. Whether that be in your personal life, whether that be online, just literally showing up as who you really are. I'm so happy for even just saying these words. I remember when I was younger and tried to make videos. I tried to make these planned videos, and I was so anxious and so nervous, and literally every single sentence that I would try to get out, it would be so difficult. Just sharing this in the way that I'm sharing it right now is so revolutionary for me. It's really helping me to just get underneath all those layers and closer to who I am. So yeah, I wanted to share that with you as well. So on this journey of allowing yourself to be imperfect rather than a perfectionist, I think there's a couple of things that I've learned that I'd love to share with you. And this is in no order or whatever, but the first one, which I really struggle with, is about allowing yourself to be a beginner at something. This one's tough because you really have to put your ego down and accept whatever it is that you want to do. For me, it's I really want to teach yoga, and I'm so scared of allowing myself to be a beginner, to not be perfect, to not be who I might be in 3 years' time if I start to teach now. I'm afraid of being that beginner. I think that that's a part of our perfectionist minds, is we can't really do things or start things as easily because it's not going to, you're going to have to accept that you will make mistakes and maybe you won't be the person that you want to be, and you're only going to learn how to be that person along the way. I think allowing yourself to just be a beginner at something, like allow yourself to draw shit art, allow yourself to play the guitar really shitly, let your fingers get all horrible and feel horrible, let yourself get a crochet needle and like start crocheting and do it really, really bad. Like, get frustrated, but let yourself go through that process and move through the process, because I think whenever we're trying to learn anything, there's so many layers to it. But we have to try and allow ourselves to get past those first layers. And I think after that, it'll flow easier. The more we get like that groundwork done. So yeah, let's allow ourselves to be beginners at stuff. The other thing that I want to share, it's about becoming aware of our thoughts. And I think as perfectionists, we love those types of like negative self-talk. So I'll give you an example, because it's really funny. It's so subtle and it's so small, but it's so incorporated in my like everyday, and maybe it's relatable to you, I don't know. Please share if it is. So, for example, I was writing on my typewriter and I keep making mistakes as I'm like hitting the keys. So I have to like try and go back and cross it out or write over the word or whatever. But I had this thought while I was writing, and I was like I was looking at the page and I was like, you're making this page so ugly. Like, can you imagine that type of self-talk? And I just like sat there. And I think this is what it's about. I think it's about observing it and seeing, can you come from maybe a kind of place, but like just letting that thought happen and be like being an observer to your thoughts. And I think sometimes it's hard to get into that space, because I think you have to try and be present in your everyday. Because I know for myself as well, I often just live from like this place that I'm used to living, rather than like being present and being in touch. But I think when you do try to be present in your day and take breaths and be aware of yourself and your surroundings and your thoughts, I think it's easier then to catch onto those things. And I feel like I've started doing the morning pages, which is essentially like journaling first thing in the morning, 3 pages. And I think that has actually helped a lot with like allowing me to be more present in my day, because all of the subconscious things that would like swim into the rest of my day are kind of just dealt with first thing in the morning, and then it makes space for other stuff. So I think to feel a bit clear-headed, that's one of the things that also helped. But yeah, I think when you are more present, you're able to hear these thoughts more. That's another thing, observing our thoughts and allowing for kindness, because you deserve that. Like, you deserve to be allowed to do things that you want to do. You absolutely deserve that. And I'm saying that to you and to myself, because as I'm sharing these things, I'm still trying to incorporate them and really live from that place. And I think it's like one of those things where it's back and forth, so it's not like you just learn it and then you'll never have to revisit it again. I think it's one of those things that you do better today, and then tomorrow you might not be so great, and then you just go back and forth. The other thing that I think we need as perfectionists is accepting that perfection is maybe not realistic. I know that's crazy to hear as a perfectionist. I think when we look around us and we look at the way nature operates and the universe operates, everything is ever changing. So even though I think we might look at nature and see a beautiful flower blooming and we're like, wow, that's perfect, but it's going to change, it's going to wilt. So it feels like even looking at nature, there's constant change, constant evolution, constant death and rebirth, the themes of death and rebirth. Even with a flower, it's like it's dying and it's blooming, and it's dying and it's blooming. I think when we look at nature in that way, we have something to learn from that, because if we try to look at perfection as this thing that can be achieved, that is such an illusion. Because I feel like even when you think about a lot of the things that you try to achieve yourself, once you achieve them, you often want to move to the next thing, or it's not really what you thought it would feel like. It's not really that perfect thing that you thought it would be once you achieve it. So Yeah, I think coming from it more from that perspective and just accepting that nothing in nature is perfect and that everything is just ever changing, and so are you. So, and so am I. So, yeah, I think looking at it more from this perspective, it's way better, like, to just allow ourselves to be and accept our true nature, which is not perfection. I think we need to allow ourselves to create and be the beautiful, imperfect humans that we are.